This video covers Excel Module 3, build a statistical formula with the COUNTA function. The COUNTA function, all it does is it looks at a range of cells, whatever range you tell it, and it will only count up the cells that actually have some information in them. Whether it's numbers, whether it's a string of letters, it doesn't really matter. As long as there's something in this cell, it will count it. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and click on cell B14. What we want to do here is um, we want to do the list of the number of offices in North America. Okay, so essentially from New York to Vancouver. The easiest way to do this is to click on the Formulas tab in the ribbon. Now, the COUNTA function is a statistical function, and it's not showing up right here. So what we need to do is click on the More Functions button, go down to Statistical, and go down and click on COUNTA. Again, all that COUNTA does is it just looks for a range of cells to count the, which number of cells in a range that are not empty. They have something in them. By default, Excel's going to look for the one that it thinks is best, which is B3 to B13. That is not necessarily what we want. Okay, what we want is we want A3 rather to A12. So the easiest way to do that is right here for value 1. We just want to type in. You can do A3 colon A12. Or you can click the up arrow button here and then select the range with your cursor. Either way, it doesn't matter. What we see here is that we do have 10. We have 10 locations, and all of these different cells here between A3 and A12 do have information in them. Okay, so they're not empty, and that gives us a count of 10. I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and you'll see here the number of North America offices are 10. Now, to show you how this works and to make sure that your formula is working properly, I'm going to very temporarily delete Philadelphia. Bye, Philadelphia. Okay, and you'll see that if I delete the Philadelphia out of cell A10, that my number of offices decreases from 10 to 9. I'm going to go ahead and hit Control Z as in zebra to restore Philadelphia. Basically just undo my last command, and you'll see that my number of offices are back to 10. Next thing we want to do is we want to change some of the formatting for our percentage of our annual increase here. So next I am going to select the range of H3 to H12, and I am going to change some of the way that these look. Okay, if anything is depending on what the percentage is, if there's a cause for concern, basically, I am going to make the turn the font color to red on, like, for example, if somebody missed their target revenue here, we might turn that red. Okay, if it's severely low. So, for example, I want Los Angeles, their annual increase is very tiny. We want to make sure that we have that set to miss, set or turn red, and same thing with Boston, which is negative. Okay, so if these things are negative, we want either of these to turn red. Okay, because that's a very much a cause for concern when you go negative. All right, so I'm going to click on my home button here, click on the home tab. There's a cells grouping box off to the right. Click on the format button, and then click on format cells. Now, I'm going to type in some formatting code. So you'll want to reference page EX3-10 for this code if it doesn't work for you. All right, by default, it's going to bring up that it's a percentage, okay, which is fine, the 0.00%. That's great. Now, what I want to do is right after the percent sign here, okay, I need to tell it to not only show the percentages with 2 decimal places, but I also need to make this red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in colon, open bracket. That's the shift and then the key next just to the right of P on your keyboard. Okay, or not shift, but just the button just to the right of your keyboard. Okay, press that. Not a curly. You want a bracket. Okay, then type in red and do a close bracket. And then you want to do open paren. You want to do 0.00 %, close paren. Okay, and then hit OK. Okay, now if you do that, and you might have to rewind the video and retry those steps if that doesn't work for you, but what you should see here is anything that is negative, okay, it's going to turn that red. That's what that code just does, and it's actually pretty sweet. Okay. So this is what the code looks like right here. Now, what you'll see if I click on custom, if I go back in, I actually will now have a few different other options that I can choose from if I want to change like if I want to increase decimal points or decrease them, which is kind of neat. All right, I'm going to go ahead and click out of somewhere onto my spreadsheet, save my changes. And the next thing that I want to do is I want to select the range of B3 to G12, and I am going to change these numbers a little bit here. So B3 to G12, we need to have these in dollars in an accounting format. So we need some commas here basically. Okay. Now, if I select this range, the easiest way to do this is up in the Home tab in the numbers grouping box is to click on the down arrow where it's next to General here, and then click on Accounting. Okay, that's one way to do it. And then what we want to do here is we want to click the decimal button twice. Okay, and you can see here that this revenue, we might have to make column F a little bit wider. Let's do that a little bit. We're going to make that a little bit wider, or we can automatically select the size. Either way, it doesn't matter, just to get that on there. And as you can see, it looks like we actually have too many decimals there. Okay. Now another way to do it, I'm going to set my numbers back to general, so it looks like this. The other way that you can do this step is to click on the accounting number format button, and oops, there we go. Click on the button and it'll change that as well. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to click the decrease decimal button twice because we want to get rid of all the numbers. The cents, we don't care about cents, we just care about whole numbers. Okay, and that's what you'll see right here. All right. And that ends this video. The next video is we're going to play around with the date function.